People, 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 please use your blinker when you're driving! Changing Lanes, released in 2002 and is directed by Roger Mitchell, who has directed such films like Persuasion, Venus, and Notting Hill. And this film is starring Ben Affleck, Samuel L. Jackson, Toni Collette, Sidney Pollack, William Hurt, and I'm reviewing this because it did pop up on my random generator. I want to get back to doing my random generator of the movies that I own. I had a lot of recommendations, which I am going to get to for those of you that have provided your recommendations to me, but every once in a while I'm going to do what this channel was designed for, and that is to randomly select a movie that's sitting behind me that either I've never watched, I purchased, but I've never watched, or I haven't seen in a long time. And I've never watched this movie before. It's one of those cheap little DVDs that you find in the $1 bin, brought it home, never watched it, definitely watched it for this review though, and I'm a little disappointed because the advertising for this movie, I remember the trailers when it was coming out in 2002, and then you look at the poster, you look at the DVD cover, and you have Ben Affleck, and you have Samuel L. Jackson's face right there, so this is going to be a cool little versus film. These two people are going to be constantly at each other's throats. And while there are some interactions between the two, and there are some plot points where, yes, they are at each other's throats, or they're escalating pretty quickly to where one of them bankrupts the other person, and then the other person removes the lug nuts on their car, and then they get into another accident. So they have moments like that, but this movie really isn't about Samuel L. Jackson versus Ben Affleck's character. This movie is about these two people versus whatever adversary they have in their own lives, and then there are sporadically sprinkled throughout moments where, oh, I need my document from Samuel L. Jackson. And then Samuel L. Jackson says, I want my credit turned back on because you were an asshole and you turned it off. But the movie is not a versus thing, so the marketing department behind this movie basically lied to us wanting to see this movie. To me, it felt like there are two different scripts, like completely separate scripts that Paramount had sitting in their Rolodex of scripts that they had, and they were like, I like this one, I like this one too, but on their own, these aren't good enough to get theatrical releases. But what if we combine them? I would be shocked if that was not the reason why this film got made. That they didn't have two different scripts that they melded together. They took the aspects, like the big aspects of both scripts, and then they put them together, trying to turn this into some type of thriller where we have these two different people going at each other's throats. If that's not what happened, then I'll shut up about it, but until someone tells me otherwise, that's what I think happened here. Now, that being said, I do enjoy the characters that are presented to us. Ben Affleck plays this brash young lawyer trying to make partner of this big law firm, and their law firm did a little shady thing where they convinced this old man on his dying bed to sign this power of appointment to the law firm so that they can disband the board of directors and then they can take in couple $1 million for themselves. A very shitty thing to do, and it's hard to believe that Ben Affleck's character did not know that that was happening or going on. But this was 2002, this was a young Ben Affleck, and I guess it's more believable that a younger Ben Affleck in that role was very naive. The younger that he is, you go back to 1997 with Good Will Hunting, he has this very naivety air about him. So for him to play this naive lawyer character who's like, I didn't know this stuff was happening behind the scenes. I thought we were lawyers. I thought we just liked protecting the law and stuff. I can kind of believe that he would play a character like that. But Samuel L. Jackson, he's Samuel L. Jackson. I don't think he is ever terrible. He's just himself. He's cool, but he has great character moments. Him sitting at a bar, he pours his drink when he realizes that his credit is shit. He apparently just went bankrupt for some reason. He can't get the loan to buy his house, and his family is going to leave him. And he's a former alcoholic, and he hasn't had a drink in a long time. But when all that shit starts pouring down on you, yeah, I can see how someone can break that promise of being sober and having one drink. But seeing it poured and seeing him just staring at it, it's heartbreaking. So I like these two performances. They complement each other well. Just the big problem that I had with this movie is that it's really not a versus movie. There are some interactions between the two from out of nowhere, and right at the beginning, Ben Affleck's character goes to this guy who is able to pull up his computer program, take all the money away from Samuel L. Jackson's character. Like, right away. Like, that escalates quickly. And then it's another, like, 30 minutes before we have our next interaction with them. Or hell, even they're just talking about the other person, because they're both going back into their own lives. It was a fine film, just a little disappointing for me, because I remember thinking that this was going to be a fun little thriller that I never got around to seeing, and then watching it, there's no connection, really, with these two. Some sporadic all throughout the movie, but again, these characters really don't interact with each other, and it's not a versus film. So I'm going to give Changing Lanes 2.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I found that if you have a goal, that you might not reach it. But if you don't have one, then you are never disappointed. And I gotta tell you, it feels phenomenal.
So guys, if you've seen Changing Lanes, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, then comment below and let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I release the next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.